Your body language says more about you and your message than your words. That's right. It's not always about what you say, but how you say it. I coach and observe speakers all the time, and here are the biggest body language mistakes that I see. The first one is exactly what I am doing now. I'm crossing my arms in some form. I've also seen this. I've also seen this. I've also seen this. Let me explain what's happening. Because public speaking is a stressful event, your body is starting to go into the fight, flight, or freeze response. Specifically, fight. When we're in a fight, we tend to block off our bodies. We are in defensive positions. Great idea for a fight, not a great idea for public speaking. When you cross your arms in any way, shape, or form, or you shield your body in any way, shape, or form, and by the way, that includes holding on to the podium for dear life, you are blocking or you are shielding yourself from the audience. You are non-verbally communicating that you don't want to be seen and people shouldn't look at you. The second mistake that I see often is a lack of eye contact. You can even tell, as I'm not looking directly into the camera, that there is a disconnection between what I am saying and who I am saying it to by just scanning the room all over the place, which is not an effective strategy. In fact, when we scan the room, we're just absorbing all of the stimulus into our brains. We're looking at more things, which is actually increasing our anxiety. When we have direct eye contact with different people in the audience, we're establishing connection and we're having a conversation, which is what public speaking really is. And finally, my biggest fault, the one that I struggle with the most, is fidgeting and restlessness. And I totally and absolutely 100% get it. I have a lot of energy, a lot of nervous energy when I'm in front of an audience or in front of a camera. But the more that I fidget around, the more distracted you are. So here's some tools to be able to be more effective in your body language. Number one, stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. Bend your knees slightly, but don't lock out your knees. I want to say that again. Don't lock out your knees. I won't go into the intense biology of this, but I have seen speakers almost faint because they're locking their knees and they're stiffening everything around them to where they just take a dive right to the floor. Standing with your feet shoulder width apart also prevents the swaying. I can't sway as much when I'm in this position, but if I have my feet not shoulder width apart, it's much easier to bend my knee and then do a little dance, which is fun sometimes, but not effective during a speech. Second, keep your hands right at your sides, especially when you're starting and beginning. I know. This is insanely uncomfortable, unbelievably uncomfortable. Even here, as I'm recording this in front of a camera, I do not feel safe. Again, that is that fight, flight, or freeze response. However, keep in mind that the brain likes symmetry. When we see speakers start in a symmetrical format, we are more likely to trust them. Third, make sure that you're starting in the center, not necessarily of the room, but in the center of your audience. This implies that you are there for everybody. Next, make sure that all hand gestures are above the waist. I get a lot of questions about what's an effective hand gesture, and there are some tools and strategies, but here's the bottom line. Hand gestures are fine as long as they are direct and controlled, and that they are not pointing to too many places. Hand gestures, after all, are meant to emphasize something. But if I'm pointing in various directions, then my audience members are looking at all the various directions to where I am pointing. Last but not least, pretend that there is a slight string at the top of your head pulling you up. This gives you good posture and great confidence. I have one more thought. Remember, there's no such thing as a public speaking rule, well, except for one that I'll link here. If you have one hand gesture below your waist, it's not going to make or break you. If you have one time where you cross your arms and kind of lean back on your knee, it's not going to kill you. Give yourself grace, but also be aware of what your body is doing and what you are communicating in your nonverbal elements to your audience. This takes time, it takes practice, and it absolutely takes patience, and of course, vulnerability. What other body language strategies did I miss? What are the questions that you have about body language? Make sure you drop them in the chat, and as always, like and subscribe. Until next time, make sure that you come off mute and speak up your story.